My wife lost our baby, we divorced and now I'm moving on. Well, my wife, now ex-wife, was 2 months pregnant. When she found out she was pregnant, she asked me to talk and told me that halfway through our relationship as a couple and half a year before our marriage she cheated on me with her best friend, with whom she currently has no communication. Currently we have been married for 8 years and she told me that she wanted to confess it because a child was going to be a change in our lives and that she wanted to start it off right in order to be good parents. In her words, it's for having a clean beginning. I obviously asked her the most logical question of all. I asked her if that child was really mine, knowing that if she cheated once she could have done it more times, for some reason that made her cry. I was totally angry with her, but I didn't want to hurt her. However, I didn't want to comfort her either, so I left the room and went to another side of the house to think about my action plan. Hours later I was sitting in the sofa. During those hours I did not go to see her at any time. I did not want to see her face. I heard her calling me, almost screaming. I approached her and she was in the bathroom bleeding quite a bit down there. We went to the hospital and apparently she had a miscarriage. According to the doctor, it was not something forced nor product of some medication. Maybe it was an emotional shock, something that already happened to her before. While she was sitting on her stretcher waiting to be discharged, she asked me what I thought about all this. I just said that maybe it was for the best since a child would make more difficult the divorce, words that made her cry again. I'm not going to lie, I love her, but at the same time I don't trust her anymore. If she could hide a slip for almost a decade, I don't know what else she could have hidden. Maybe this is just the tip of the iceberg. The only thing that haunts me now is to know if that son was mine or not. According to her, she has been faithful to me since then and she never spoke or saw any man other than me, which I did not ask her to do, but obviously I also have to question that. Our relationship was quite good, but now I also have to doubt if every good deed she did for me was out of true love or it was just guilt for cheating on me. Anyway, I'm already planning a divorce. Thank God that son wasn't born, because otherwise everything would have been more complicated. As I said, I love her, but I can't live knowing every action she made for me could be lie, and also I'm not forgiving a cheating. Now, I want to clarify one thing. In my country there is something called divorce by mutual agreement, which is a process that lasts less than a month, which you will not go to any trial, just a signing of papers by both parties. It is made clear that we both want to divorce. The following conditions exist to be able to carry out this type of procedure. 1. Both must agree. 2. That 2 years or more have passed since their marriage. We have been married for 8 years. 3. If there are minor or older children with disabilities, everything related to parental authority, food, tenure, visits, guardianship must be resolved. We do not have children. 4. Not having property in common. We have separate finances. Well, 2 days later she called me and told me to go to my father-in-law's house, where she is since her father picked her up from the hospital that night, to talk. I went with the papers that my lawyer had given me and that she had to sign in case I could convince her. I arrived. She was with her father, a 70-year-old man. She has not been related to her mother or siblings since she started university because her parents are separated and she was the only one who wanted to stay with her father, so he is the only one with her. We talked about everything that happened and after a few hours she ended up signing all the papers. She asked me if I hated her. I told her that I don't feel the same love for her, but that I felt respect for her courage to confess something that she could have kept for her. I wished her good luck and told her to recover, that I love her but that I can't trust her anymore and that the healthiest thing is for each one to get ahead on their own. We gave each other one last hug and kiss and I told her I would take care of everything and that if I needed anything I would let her know. Now I just have to take the papers to be legalized by a notary and then take it to the civil registries for the registration of the divorce in the civil registry. Although I'm happy that this was solved the easy way, I still have a pain in my chest from everything that happened. I'll start therapy next week and I'll get through it, I guess. For those who wonder why I didn't consent to this infidelity even though it was almost a decade ago, I grew up in a family where both parents were unfaithful to each other and forgave each other. I ended up leaving that house as soon as I could because the discussions taking everything past in face were an everyday thing. I don't want to go through the same thing or make my future children have to hear the same thing that I heard. Now a week has passed, I have gone to the psychologist and I feel that I am improving. The truth is that I am very hopeful about the future, but I feel that I will have to be more careful in my next relationship, but at the same time I do not want to mistrust my new partner. The truth is that this is very difficult, but I just have to move on. Yes, I already presented the notarized and signed divorce papers to public records. My status should change to divorced in less than 2 weeks. I don't know how my ex-wife is doing. I haven't called her, but at least she has her dad to support her. Comment. To be honest, if I found out my wife cheated on me 10 years ago, I would divorce her as well. Good luck with your new life. There was that one story about a couple in their 90s who got divorced after the husband found out the wife cheated 70 years before. She knew what would happen if she told you, but could not live with the guilt anymore, and telling you ruined her marriage. This is what happens with cheating. The guilt eats away at you over time. You are both better off and can start again, hopefully this time without cheating. T.S. a sad situation all round. Move on. Don't live wondering, stressed, and anxious about if you are being lied and gaslighted. Good luck to both of you. That is problem with cheating. It leaves the betrayed spouse with a lifetime of doubt, especially when children come along. I would have asked for a DNA test as well, and frankly she should have known that and expected it. 100% agree with your decision, buddy. Trust and respect are more important to most men than love. If a woman's love can't keep her faithful, honest with me, then no reason to say you love me, because my love doesn't work that way and we are speaking different languages. Hoping you find a wife that speaks your language. You deserve this. Next story 2. I'm not sure if this exactly counts as cheating in this day and age. So I'll start this off by saying I'm not exactly the best with communicating all the time. I'm a guy, 19, who loves hard, cares harder and gets hurt all the time. A few months ago I just got back from basic training via discharge because of my mental health, and I learned that my now ex-girlfriend cheated on me. It was semi-deserved, I guess. But that isn't who I'm talking about today. So about a month after I get back and find out about all that, I was beyond broken. I had no one to really talk to. My parents brushed me off for a while about my mental health worsening, and talking to my friends and my ex just felt uncomfortable. So I went out of my comfort zone and started talking to this girl. I'll call her S, 18, for the sake of not wanting one of her friends to find this post. She lives a good ways away from me, about 8.5 hours from my house. Immediately I felt a connection with her just through talking and discovering that we like a lot of the same things and even had some of the same problems, from movies to food, hell to even the fact we are both lactose intolerant and have bad mental health. Fast forward through the first month and a half later, everything was going smooth. We both told each other I love you. We even tried to meet up, but things got cancelled because of my work. Other than that, my ex tried to sabotage my relationship with her. Plus my mental health was getting worse. I was self-harming again like I did before I started talking to her. The next couple days she was distant, told me she need time alone to herself because her ex was trying to get back into her life. Later that same night she blocked me, and I just found out that they dated and were sleeping together again. After a week she ended things and added me back. I was distant, but I wanted her to stay in my life, so to me it was okay. She had just got out of a relationship with him, barely really knew me. But you all can probably guess where this is heading now. After that we were completely okay, nothing wrong really, a few minor disagreements on things, but really good in my opinion. Well, that is until a couple days before her birthday. We had a really good day, lots of talking and discussing about meeting up soon. She made me feel at ease about not being able to come up after not being able to. Well, this is the part in the story that pisses me off still. She didn't say anything all night to me, turned her location off, the whole 9 yards. That next morning she tried to cover her tracks by lying to me about where she was. I knew because after she said her friend's name I checked her Insta. She doesn't even follow anyone with the name she gave. Then I got a snap of her and her ex chilling like it was nothing. At this point I was pissed off, very pissed off. She took her phone back and started texting me explaining everything. She told me she did it because I wasn't there, she could only love so much through a text. At this point I was beyond mad or angry, so I self-harmed myself multiple times to ease what I was feeling. I gave it a couple days of me asking every question possible. And then after I cooled down I told her I would try again, but only if she built my trust back for her. Then a few days later she stayed at his house as friends. This made me angry. But she gave a valid reason for being there and even told me she wouldn't as often anymore, so I would start to trust her again and so I wouldn't feel terrible about her being there. Now we made it to today. She just moved houses and she doesn't have Wi-Fi, so she texts me a little bit a day, and I know she isn't on Snapchat because her score has been staying the same. If the post needs more detail, LMK. I just wanna know how I should proceed with her, if at all, because regardless of us just talking, I believe in loyalty and trust above everything else in my life. I just don't want my feelings to cloud my judgment on this. I don't wanna get hurt again. Comnet. She has become my normal, even though is basically a situationship. I have honest feeling for her. I tell her everything and she always comforts me, and I do the same to her. I'm very childish when it comes to having feelings for a girl when I think it's meant to be. And this is the first time I have ever gave a second chance to someone that I have genuine feelings for. Sounds like you need a new normal. I think if y'all are long distance, she's just going to keep going back to that ex. Maybe it's time to move on, find better someone who actually deserves your love. She sounds like a shitty person to me that can't make her mind up on which guy she wants. Your first problem is that you aren't okay with being alone as opposed to being with someone who repeatedly hurts you. At some point you have to put your own sanity and self-love above having someone there. The thing some of these commenters don't understand is that serious parental neglect will start that avalanche. You just want to be loved by someone, but please understand that someone who will hurt you does not love you. Please understand that you are worth honesty, real love, and a person who doesn't give you those is not worth your energy. She is repeatedly lying to you and reeling you back in because you care more about being with her than your own self-respect. Take that power from her. She doesn't get to abuse your kindness, your love, or your trust anymore. Set boundaries. I will not stay in any relationship where I cannot trust the person I'm with. I deserve better. Deny her access to you. You are currently in a perfect storm that will make your emotions far worse if you allow it to continue. The world needs you, and I personally want to see you succeed and be happy. You will find a perfect mate after you become comfortable with yourself. Having boundaries to bolster your self-respect. Keeping a bad one like her is going to tear you down further. You need progress, not backsliding. As someone who has healed from the self-harm actions similar to yours and no longer does it, please go to a therapist. Please get sharp items away from yourself and know that you don't deserve more pain, but you also don't deserve to cause more trauma to your body. Please feel free to message me privately if you'd like someone to talk to. You are the same age as my oldest son, and I will be there even if your parents are too self-absorbed to see the amazing child that grew into an amazing adult.